In this video, we'll look at how to determine the number of valence electrons for helium. So there are two ways to find the number of electrons in the valence shell for helium. The first is just to look at the periodic table. But helium's a little bit of a special case. So let's take a look at first the periodic table and then the electron configuration. But before we start, I have to tell you that helium has two valence electrons. So remember that. On the periodic table, we can number the groups. Groups 1, 2, we skip the transitions, and then we have 13, 14 through 18. And that tells us the number of valence electrons. Group 1 has 1 valence electron, group 2 has 2, and so on, all the way up to group 18, where they all have 8 except helium. Helium is an exception. It has 2 valence electrons. And to understand why helium has just 2 valence electrons, we need to look at the electron configuration for helium. So for helium, it has 2 as its atomic number. That means it has 2 protons. And since these are neutral, it'll have 2 electrons. So since it only has 2 electrons total, it can't have 8 valence electrons. If we write the configuration, we'll have 1s, and both of those electrons for helium, they're in the 1s orbital. So 1s, 2, and the 2 is the number of electrons. Since this is the highest energy level for helium, it's the only energy level, we have 2 valence electrons in the highest energy level. You can think of that as the outer shell. So since there's only 2, these are the valence electrons for helium. And so this energy level is now full. That's what makes helium a noble gas. If we added more electrons, we'd have to put them in another shell. This is Dr. B with the number of valence electrons for helium, He. Thanks for watching.